Welcome. Thank you for attending another one of our state videos from the Academy of Adoption and Assisted Reproduction Attorneys. Today, we're covering the state of New Jersey. And we've got 4 amazing fellows within the state of New Jersey for you to talk to today. We do have a couple of other fellows that are on our Academy website, but we'll get you to that information later. For now, let's introduce you to who we have today. Deb Gustin, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. My name is Deb Gustin. I practice up in Bergen County. But obviously, I think as all of my friends here will tell you, we actually practice all over the state. So I'm glad to be here. I'm a former president of the Academy, and I'm looking forward to this discussion.
Don, can you introduce yourself, please?
Sure, yes. Hi, I'm Don Kopsky, and like Deb, I practice in New Jersey, and also like Deb, I am a former president of our academy. And family formation has been something that both Deb, all of us here have been working on for years. And we, the group that you see, the 4 people here, as a result of a case over 10 years ago, we were invited by the New Jersey legislature to sit down with them and work on a new statute for gestational carrier agreements. And we did, and they liked what we did, and we now have a terrific Gestational Carrier Agreement Act in New Jersey.
Awesome. And Melissa?
I'm Melissa Brisman, and I too am located here in New Jersey, although I also have an office in New York, and I'm also licensed in Pennsylvania and Massachusetts. I have been practicing family formation since 1998. Also, all my children were born from gestational carriers. And like everybody else, we were all active in the legislation in New Jersey.
And Robin?
I'm Robin Fleischner. I am an adoptive parent. And then after adopting 2 kids, family formation became my life and my life's work. And I am very proud to be a New Jersey attorney. I'm also licensed in New York and Pennsylvania. Our New Jersey Gestational Carrier Agreement Act is a model for the whole country. And we're an incredibly assisted reproduction friendly state.
All right, so let's talk about New Jersey. So we've heard a little bit about this law already. And I can tell you a lot of states will say, nope, we're the best. We're the best state to go to. Deb, is New Jersey better?
I definitely think so. I'll tell you for a couple of reasons. We went from 0 to 100% in 2018 with our statute. Our carrier agreements are fully enforceable. We can get pre-birth parentage orders with no court appearances on behalf of the intended parents. And I think, as you'll see, we are all of the New Jersey attorneys in the Academy are so collegial and so collaborative that we've really built a system here that can make family building through assisted reproduction really a top-notch experience.
And I have to throw something Robin's way. One of the reasons we got this act through, and everyone should be aware of this, and the reason that these agreements are enforceable is that it protects any child born of one of these arrangements. And that was a big concern. So once that is signed and enforceable, you as an intended parent, that's your child, no matter what. And by the same token, if a gestational carrier says, nah, I think I want to keep the baby, she cannot. So that's one of the terrific parts of this statute. And Robin, you were the one pushing the let's make sure the child's protected.
Exactly. I would say that all of us, our primary goal is the best interests of children. And in New Jersey and with our statute, we created protections for all children born from assisted reproduction and also all parties to the gestational carrier agreement, so that, as Don said, intended parents, carriers can feel really safe here that their rights will be protected, their rights and responsibilities will be outlined and protected.
So Melissa, I mean, we're hearing that it's very encompassing. It protects all children. Does the LGBTQ community have any concerns or things they need, any warnings they need to know about for New Jersey?
We're very friendly towards all types of parents, whether you're trans, whether you're in a same-sex relationship, whether you're single, whether you're divorced. You can enter into a gestational carrier agreement. In fact, you do not have to be biologically related to the child as long as the woman carrying the baby is not using her own egg or her husband's sperm, that it will be enforceable. So you could use a donated embryo. So whether it's a single person or a married couple, you can use egg and sperm both from third parties. The only issue that I would say is that is in most of the states, as it applies to same-sex male couples, is that they may have trouble with their health insurance getting fertility coverage, because if you have IVF coverage for IVF because you can't carry the baby and you're a woman, then you are able to get that coverage under the state mandate. But according to the definition and the state, the IVF coverage is for a disease or a defect of the person who's going to carry the baby, whether it be psychological or medical. And currently, biological males cannot carry babies. So they don't meet the definition of disease under the state mandate in New Jersey. So there is actually a case going on that they're attempting to do a class action in New York to challenge the issue that same-sex males should be considered infertile if they're in a same-sex relationship. But that brings up a host of a whole other issues. So I think there are not many states that are friendly to that right now. Certain employers do cover for gay couples, but it's not based on the insurance company's definition of a disease.
Melissa, you always follow this issue of insurance. Are you aware, is there anything bouncing around in the state legislature to possibly change this in New Jersey?
Well,
They're
maybe-
always, go ahead, Deb,
yes.
sorry.
No, that's okay. No, because I know that, Resolve is actually actively working in New Jersey now on some revisions to the mandates. But we always have to be really careful when we talk about insurance mandates, because the states can only regulate a certain number of insurance policies. But just as Melissa said, I think what Resolve is doing and a bunch of other collaborators will hopefully solve some of the problems, specifically for gay men or for other people, or even for single women who are not considered medically infertile, but maybe what we call socially infertile. So I'm looking forward to some good changes here.
So you have to be very careful when you go to the legislator, because it's not just the number of policies, like Deb says, but it's also, you do not want the legislator saying being a homosexual or being trans or being in a same-sex relationship is a disease, right? Because that is offensive, to our goals here. And most of the time, insurance companies are treating disease. So you have to overhaul the whole way we look at what insurance is for and how it's done. Because there is actually a federal tax case. It's pretty old, and thank God the person lost, but he tried to deduct his surrogacy expenses, saying that he was gay and he had a disease. And so he should be able to deduct it as medical expenses under the IRS because it was a disease that made him use it. And he was denied because being gay is not a disease. So we have to make sure that we don't go down a slippery slope and turn things backward with, LGBTQ rights.
Kim, there's one thing that people watching this should really know about. We talk about how good our statute is, but you can bring an action for parentage, get a pre-birth order or judgment of parentage in the county where the carrier resides, if she lives in New Jersey, in the county where the intended parents reside, if they live in New Jersey, or the county where the child is supposed to be born. So sometimes you have issues where the carrier may be in another state. She's going to deliver in another state. Depending on that other state's law, we can still get that pre-birth order here in New Jersey, which is very easily obtainable. And then the question is, will that other state honor the New Jersey order? We've now recently worked it out with Pennsylvania that we can get an order out of New Jersey, and Pennsylvania will accept that order very easily. So, and then it just depends which states will or which states won't. But that's something that people should keep in mind.
Yeah, and
I
that's
would,
great
I would
for,
note also that New York will accept a pre-birth order from the New Jersey court. And since the states are next to each other, we have a lot of surrogacies where you
Sure.
have New Jersey intended parents and New York gestational carriers, as Pennsylvania is next to us. So in that corridor we've been successful with getting New Jersey pre-birth orders accepted, both in New York and Pennsylvania.
Good.
and the reason, Kim, why this is good is because, for instance, Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, the judge always insists on a hearing. And no matter how many times that we have said, you know, hearings are not usual, the judge has discretion to have a hearing. And so if if the carrier lives in Montgomery County and the parents are in New Jersey, and they can just get the order in New Jersey, and then we have to dispense with the hearing, and then that is good for them because they don't have to pay for a hearing. And also, what kind of pregnant woman wants to go to a hearing, right? It's just not
Yeah.
fun.
And-
Yeah. Or drag the intended parents there, right? So,
and-
all right, so here's what I'm hearing. Even though you guys went into some really nuanced stuff for the insurance for the LGBTQ community, that's a nationwide issue. It doesn't mean New Jersey is any different from other states. It's just that they're working on cutting edge things. And so, you know, New Jersey is a great place for you to be. And what I'm hearing is that you absolutely need to talk to one of these fellows to get your additional questions answered and talk about your specific circumstances, especially if you're in certain counties that these fellows may know about and have specific advice for you on. So in order to do that, in order to get hold of any of the fellows that are on this video or the additional fellows that we have in the state of New Jersey, you can go back to the Academy's website. And on the Academy's website, we have a map and you can choose New Jersey, but you can also choose some of the other states. And, you know, a lot of our clients out in the world have multiple states that are involved in a reproductive matter. And you can get their contact information on that map. That Academy website is adoptionart.org, adoptionart.org. Thank you, everybody, for sharing with us about New Jersey today. They obviously have lots of information they want to give you. They want to keep talking for an hour, so call them and talk to them about your case. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.